Hey folks, welcome back. I'm Brendan from Bluelight, and today we're going to look at one of the toughest, hardest questions that you're going to get asked as part of the police recruitment process. And that's not just my words, those are the words of the client that I'm helping to support and coach today here in Crewe at Wychwood Park Hotel. It's a long story why we're at Crewe, but we are. And the question that seems to befuddle a lot of you is this one. Why do you want to join the police? Why do you want to be a police officer? What's your motivation for wanting to be a police officer? Questions like that. So I'll take you through some of the learning if I can and see if it helps you on your journey towards becoming a police officer. So I asked this question of my client as a sort of one of the first questions that we explored today. And what we got was there's lots of departments I'd love to join. There's lots of opportunities to develop. There's a mounted section. I love horses. I look up to the police. It's a challenge and I'd love to be part of it. Actually, it's about 2 minutes of waffle, but those were the main points. If you think that's going to set your stall out for the rest of the interview, you're wrong. Now, we scored this one, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is just not going to nail it at all, and 10 is we're so nailing this answer now. We've got the perfect answer. It was a 0. Below 1, and deservedly so, because one of the things, and to quote my client, is they said was, I thought I had to say what they wanted to hear. I thought I had to say what they wanted to hear. So what she was trying to do was she was trying to come up with a load of buzzwords really, which were just one step away from I want to help people in communities, I want to put something back, I want a job where I've got an impact, no 2 days are the same. You know, all of these cliches that tell me absolutely nothing about you. Absolutely nothing about you. So she bought one of those books that has got all of these sample answers in there. And honestly, I've looked through those answers and they are not going to cut it on the day. Because the one thing that was missing, the thing, well, among several things, but the big thing that was missing, was she just wasn't coming across as her real, authentic, emotional self. She was just doing what the books on the shelves, the police recruitment books, the how to get that job interview type books, tell you, and she'd come up with this. I thought I had to say what they wanted to hear. No, what they want to hear about is you. They want to hear about your qualities, your values, what challenges you, what you found difficult, what you found easy, something about your strengths, something about you, about your story. So one of the things that we came up with is you have to have a compelling story. Now the amount of times I've covered this with my clients, and I keep having to cover it and keep having to cover it because there's too many books out there that are telling you to do something else. This works. I know this works because I've coached and supported over 4,000 people into the police over the past 7 years now. Whether it be through the Certificate of Knowledge and Policing courses that Bluelight used to run, we don't run that anymore, or one-to-one coaching, my seminars, my online courses, the webinars I run, the advice I give on my Facebook support group, the interactions I've had over the years have honed this idea, and you can't go wrong with this. Having a compelling story about your life. So what we looked at here is, okay, my client was born on a certain date. You didn't wake up on day 1 when you were 1 day old thinking I want to be a police officer, did you? So it was a while before the seed was planted. And I've covered this over because, you know, under here there's some highly personal stories about this individual, and I'm not going to do anything at all that would help you identify who they are. And they're really personal, and you know, the story that she's told is a really powerful one, because what we did is we broke it up into chapters. So that was where the seed was planted. That was where the first sort of idea, inkling, concept of wanting to be a police officer started. And we developed it, thinking of it like a story with distinct chapters. Now, we're not going to tell the story you know, by saying once upon a time, or chapter 1 started like this. But think of it almost like a once upon a time. So for my client, because of her individual circumstances, because she's got family members who are police officers, she talked about how when I was 5 or 6 years old, one of the things that really struck me was the stories that used to tell me about their service. And we've developed it further into significant chapters of her life that help tell a story about her, help tell a story about why she wants to join the police and what she's going to bring to the police service. And there's a huge amount, for this particular client, like most of my clients, there's a huge amount of resources in your life that you can utilise to help tell this story, this compelling story about why you want to be a police officer. And so what we do is we take it up to the now, here we are now, but then we can take it one step further than that to your future you. And one of the things that we explored today is, why do I want to be a police officer? Because there's going to come a point in my career where I leave, retire or resign with honour, having served as a police officer to the best of my ability, given 120% without being asked to do so. What is it I'd like to be remembered for? Not that as a great inspector or a really good constable. No, let's get really deep. Let's really dig deep and find out what is it that you'd like other people to remember you for at the end of your career. What would you like to be proud of? And there's your end to your story. So you're not just ending, here I am now in front of you, we're ending with the future you. And trust me folks, I've coached so many people who've used this, and it's been very, very powerful and impactful at the final interview. It takes a little bit of work. As my client said today, I need to practice this and practice it and practice it. But one of the things I want to make sure you don't do when you do practice this compelling story is that you don't lose the emotional self. So the story here, the story under this part of the flip chart, is so individual. No one else has got this story. I absolutely promise you. No one else has got this client's story. It's so unique, it's real, it's authentic, because it talks about particular qualities, values, things that they learn. Part of their journey of their life is being shared with the interviewer. But when she practiced it the second time after we developed this, it lacked any emotion. It lacked emotion. It's almost as if she was telling me about, so yesterday I went to the shops to buy some groceries and I bought this, that and the other. It lacked emotion. Whereas when we practiced and we talked about the detail around each one of these chapters, there was some really powerful emotions involved. But when she practiced it the first time, putting it all together, the emotion went. The difference being the image in your mind. So when you're talking about certain things that you've done that have inspired you, that have motivated you, the experiences you've had during your life, imagine it as well. Imagine you're back there. See what you saw through your own eyes as if you were experiencing it again. Hear what you heard back then and feel what you felt. And we did that little exercise, and respect to my candidate, she said, actually, for some of the things I'd rather not go back there again, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So when we're telling this compelling story, we're making it really emotional for the interviewer, because we're adding this dimension. For the things that were powerful moments in your life, the things that have really inspired you, the things that have really made you think, please, impact, the impact I'm going to have, this is how I'm going to impact on the interviewer, to get yourself over the table, to really get them to tune into you. I don't mean physically get yourself over the table, it's just this phrase I quite like, it's that you've really got your message over the table to the interviewer. The best way to do it is when you're talking about certain things in your life or certain experiences, imagine you were back there, seeing it through your own eyes, hearing what you heard and feeling how you felt. And if that comes across as being a little bit emotional, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You don't think police officers don't have feelings, do you? You don't think that sometimes they don't go home and just cry uncontrollably because they've dealt with so many traumatic things during a shift that it just has this massive impact on them emotionally. It does, it happens. So they're not looking for robots, folks. They're not looking for what you think they're looking for. They're looking for you. So how are you going to get yourself over? How are you going to develop your compelling story? That's going to take a little bit of work, folks. You can't just waltz into an interview, act naturally and be yourself, like they say, and just reel off this compelling story without developing it first, and working on it, and practicing and practicing and practicing. The hard work, folks, is in the rehearsal. So rehearse, rehearse and rehearse. So if you'd like to find out more about my services and more about what I can offer you to ensure that every part of the recruitment process is something that you absolutely nail down and pass and be successful in, then check out the links below. There's my online courses, there's my one-to-one coaching, there's my seminars, there's my webinars for those people who are part of the Facebook group. The webinars I run mostly are just for the members of my Facebook support group. They're exclusive for them, but check the link below. It's really easy to get to become part of that Facebook group. All you need to do is ask and tell me why you are interested in the police recruitment process. So there you go, folks. I hope you found this video useful. Until next time, I shall see you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch up with you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.